Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Here's the plot summary for Where Are You, Christmas? Addy wishes for a year without Christmas, and she wakes up in a world black and white. She must work together with the town mechanic to restore Christmas. It's such an intense synopsis.
It is intense.
I mean, the thought of having to restore Christmas is a tall order.
I know.
So we open to a CGI Chicago snowy scene, and our leading lady, Addy, is giving a speech at presumably Navy Pier. She is presenting her Christmas app called Quick Ship, which is evidently some app that just reminds you how many days are left until Christmas and reminds you to shop. Josh, we've seen a lot of movies with these apps before. They never make me appy. What say you?
I absolutely have to agree. You almost wonder if the people who are writing these things have a mobile phone that has apps on it to try to know what an app is supposed to do and how an app is supposed to make your life easier. Yeah, this made literally no sense to me.
No, but she's evidently very successful in what she does, as we always see, and she preps Christmas campaigns every year. So now that she does that for her career, she doesn't really love Christmas like she used to. She doesn't see her family at the holidays. Since that's her downtime, she jots off to the beach every year to escape. She's having drinks with her best friend, Suma, and telling her that she wants, Suma's saying, I just want you to be happy. Do you want to spend the holidays with us? Blah, blah, blah. And they drink vibrantly colored Christmas-themed cocktails that look straight up like food coloring juice in water. I mean, it was like you could dye Christmas eggs in the amount of dye that was in these drink glasses.
Agreed. It did not look glamorous. No. I think they wanted it to look very big city glamour, and it did not come across that way.
No, it looked quite rancid. So her brother, Addy's brother, Connor, is going to propose at Christmas. So he calls her and he's begging her to be there. She's a bit of a Scrooge and doesn't like that her hometown is so Christmas heavy, but she plans on staying home to see the proposal. She'll be there through the 25th, and then she's going to go to the beach. Then we get a jarring cut to the title screen for this movie in some really bad font type. I have never seen that kind of a choice to have that long of a delay before you get the title screen. Have you? No. Did I miss something?
No, it was definitely jarring, and it was kind of like, did this wind up being an editing mistake? Yeah, it was a little odd.
Okay. So I guess that, that fits the movie because this whole movie is very out of the norm and not your Christmas cookie cutter Hallmark movie. So maybe everything's upside down and nothing is maybe it was an artistic choice. That's what we'll say.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Yeah. Okay. So Addy is back home in the country, Red Lake Falls. Her mom is making no less than 8,000 cookies, and her mom gives her a giant, Santa scroll list of to-dos to help get things ready for the holidays. Majestic Christmas music plays, and Addy runs into her friend Dana in the town square, who is asking her if she'll be at the annual Christmas pageant they're putting on. She's like, I don't know, I'm just really busy, busy businesswoman with my busy apps. Every character that we meet in the town square acts like they snorted a line of candy canes. They are hyped for the holidays.
It's a lot. I wrote in all caps, super excited to see them. Same for the mayor. Same for the doctor friend. There is a lot of big overacting happening early on here.
Addy, I am so excited to see you. Let me tell you about all of my struggles and strife that I've been going through. Welcome home.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So Addy's distracted talking to the townies because, as you may have heard, she's a very busy career woman from the city, But the mayor approaches her. He's working on his Christmas campaign for making the town known for Christmas year-round. And maybe she can help with an app or something. He's decorating the town square gazebo like you see, he says, in one of those cute Christmas movies. And I had to laugh because I was like, okay, Hallmark, getting a little meta. I appreciate it. So it turns out the mayor mentions that Addy's dad had bet the mayor the night before $10 that she wouldn't actually show up to town, which tells us everything we need to know about their tumultuous relationship. Addy then sees the doctor at the local store, and he's on the outs with his daughter over lasagna techniques. Again, these people are oversharing a lot. But we do get a bit of a payoff, so I'm here for it. Okay. Addy's in the car. Of course, her car's on the fritz. And she goes to the local mechanic. She meets Hunter, who took over the shop after his grandfather died. He's a bit of a recluse, and he tells her, I'm very busy. Everybody's just busy. But bring it back the next day. And she wants to talk to her dad when she gets home. He kind of blows her off. It's awkward. Dad's bitter. She hasn't been around much. So this is all the foundation. This is like Act 1, right? We're laying the groundwork. So Addie's upstairs in her childhood room, and she's going through her old diaries that her mom found. Ooh, I was always too lazy to be much of a journaler or a diaryer, so not diarrhea, diarrhyer. Oh no, that sounded terrible. I did have one of those electronic diaries though. It was like you had a password and you could write all your notes and who you had a crush on and keep your calendar for all the things I wasn't doing in my little electronic diary. So listeners, if you know what I'm talking about, holla at your girl.
I remember that one.
Yeah? Well, so...
right after the Tamagotchi phase, I think.
That would probably have been my prime.
Palm Pilot. Yeah, exactly.
It's very tech savvy. I was very app savvy, much like our Addy girl, I guess.
Yeah.
So she's reading through her diaries, and her app goes off saying there are only 4 days until Christmas. And she says, exasperated, honestly, Santa, sometimes I wish there was no Christmas. I need a break. And thunder rumbles, and we all know where this is going. But it doesn't happen yet. Instead of this big moment, she gets in her car to drive somewhere, and her car goes berserk. It's a winter storm, and she sees Hunter's or what she thinks is Hunter's military ring on the floorboard. She reaches to grab it, skids off the road, wakes up, all black and white world. Can you make us black and white on the YouTube video?
Oh, I certainly can, and I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first, let's take a still shot so I can use it on the gram, too. Okay, great. Thanks. So everything's black and white. Not a stitch of color anywhere. So Hunter finds her, gets her out of the car. She passes out. Oh, boy. She wakes up and tells Hunter she's freaking out. Everything looks foggy. Does she have a concussion? We don't know. He takes her home to her parents. There are no Christmas decorations. Her parents know nothing about this Christmas she speaks of, and they just talk about how much they love Thanksgiving. They call Christmas a made-up holiday, and she goes to lay down, like, maybe I just need to go to sleep, which you shouldn't do after head trauma.
No, of course not.
I mean, I can't give medical advice, but it seems like not a great idea. But anywho, they let her fall asleep. She has a dream about the accident, and then that Christmas app wakes her up again, and now we only have 3 days left until Christmas. She tries to call her friend Suma back home, who she had the rancid cocktails with. The call won't go through. Oh, no. So we are really in some bizarro world. Then her parents are like, hey, later we're going to start watching those New Year's movie marathons. They make like 100 new movies and start airing them in June. Another meta wink to Hallmark. I appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah,
check.
that was cute.
So then we learn Dad usually does Operation Christmas Child every year. That's his big charity event. And she's like, Dad, what about the charity event? He's like, I can't do charity this year with this economy. I can only take care of my own family. And she's like, Connor, my brother, aren't you going to propose? He's like, no, marriage is way too much commitment. There's no proposal. Stop it. Oh, boy. They're like, maybe you need to go to the doctor, Addy. So she goes to the doctor, the same doctor who was feuding about, or on the outs with his daughter earlier about lasagna. And he is unleashed. Okay, he's like, don't talk about my daughter. But everything checks out with her medically. She sees the mayor at the gazebo, and he's running people off. There's no decorations in the town square. She sees the friend. There's no Christmas pageant. There is no Christmas.
And everyone is cranky and mean because of it. And this is the world without Christmas, and they want you to know it's awful.
They're kind of like the Bergens on the Trolls movies. They just kind of like roam around. Everybody's, just sad. Everything is just sad. Okay, so she's still freaking out. She goes to talk to Hunter, the mechanic, and gives him the ring that she found. And it triggers a memory of his grandpa giving him that service ring before Hunter deployed years prior. And what is that? His grandfather loved Christmas? He remembers Christmas. And color literally slowly comes, I'm playing with my hair tie, slowly comes back into his body. And it was a very cool effect. I liked it. Did you not like it? You're kind of snarling.
I was impressed. I mean, I was thinking, not that I would have any intimate knowledge of video editing or anything related to this.
No, of course not.
But I was thinking this actually took a little bit of technical prowess to pull off. And I was sort of surprised and sort of impressed.
Yeah. So he freaks out because now he has color. Everything else is still black and white. What's going on? And she's like, okay, you got to come with me. We got to help everybody remember Christmas. And he's like, I'm not going out there. I wanted to blend in, not stick out. So he wears like an all black and white ensemble, which I thought was really like covers his face up, like all just trying to blend in. It was very funny. She accosts some townies with Christmas carols and hijinks to try to get them to remember Christmas. And she's probably on some watch list at this point because they're like, ooh, stranger danger, Addy. Word travels. The whole town thinks she's crazy. She melts down and admits, maybe I do miss Christmas. But it's not over. They go to the school and he reveals his colorization to the teacher and she freaks out. And is like, can I touch it? Will it rub off on me? Is it contagious? Addy shows Dana the Christmas pageant costumes that she remembered how her mom would make them with her years ago. And she remembers Christmas and now she has color. Then Addy, still black and white. What's up, Addy? They go to cut down a tree and put it up in Hunter's house. Now all the decorations are starting to come back to color. So we get throughout the movie, the rest of the movie, little bits and pieces of scenes will be in color, but the rest is in black and white. I thought that was a nice touch because it's almost like it is contagious. Like you can see like townies in the background are starting to catch on because the teacher was going to tell her students and get them to remember Christmas. So it's catching on. But oh, Addy girl, still black and white. And there's only one more day until Christmas.
Yeah.
Addy talks to her mom about Christmas ornaments that they used to make together, and her mom remembers Christmas and swelling Christmas music plays. So throughout the town, people are starting to be colorized again. Her father led a meeting in the town square and says that no public decorations are to be displayed. He's peeved and says, whoever heard of putting a pine tree in the middle of a living room? Which he has a good point. It is. Some of these things we do for Christmas could sound outlandish if you didn't grow up doing it, I guess.
Exactly. You've completely forgotten what Christmas is all about. Yeah, you would look at some of this and think, what are these people doing?
Yeah. Addy has a crisis. Everything she's tried to do has failed, and Hunter shows her that everyone who is happy in town is because of her and what she has done and the influence. And she's like, yeah, but it's all my fault anyways, which it is. So, yeah, thanks, Addy. He says he didn't think he deserved all of this, but now he's happy to be part of this town. She takes her brother to the jewelry store to remind him of the engagement, and it worked. Okay, so now everybody basically in town has remembered Christmas. Everybody's back on board besides Addy and her dad. They have a heart-to-heart back at the house. He feels like he doesn't fit into her life anymore. And they have this kind of sweet, touching moment that she's going to come around more. And even if they still remain black and white, it'll be okay. They go to the Christmas pageant. And then we see Connor, the brother, pulls Sienna up on stage to become his fiance. And now, oh wait, yeah, she was black and white. Now she remembers. She's colorized too. Okay. Hunter gets on stage to talk about how Addy's dad has helped them all throughout the years with this Operation Christmas Smile. I said Operation Christmas Child, I think, earlier.
It's all good. It was one and the same.
The charity event. And so little kids bring in all the donations, and that part got me in my feels because they looked so cute. And it was just really seeing this town be like, remember, look at everything you've done for us, the impact you've made. Chills. So her dad, he's back in color, baby. Addy is literally the only person in town still in black and white. Hunter gives her a speech and says that she'll always be beautiful to him because I guess we're led to believe that they are falling in love. More on that later. The mayor's like, maybe you guys should kiss. So they do, and nothing happens. She's still black and white. And then she kind of admits that she only kissed him because she thought that might work to change her outcome. Ooh. And then she gets a very cringy. She has a mad moment. He had fixed her car. She gets in it and takes off. Just, I got to get out of this town. Drives over the bridge. And it loops her back to where she started. She keeps doing it. And like 4 or 5 times we see her trying to exit this town and she can't. And it's getting full Truman Show, Pleasantville, whatever vibes at this point. So she tells her dad, look, I have feelings for Hunter and I used him to turn back to color, which was making this whole thing sound very sci-fi. But she has a very sweet moment with her dad. They're at the charity event. The town is abuzz. And she's like, I hope Hunter shows up. Oh, my love of my life, Hunter. He shows up. They reconcile. Where Are You Christmas begins to play in the background, and they kiss in the gazebo. And at this point, listeners, she turns back to the way she was. And Christmas has been restored, and everything is back to normal. And the creepy Santa app goes off again. Her phone turns back on because she had thrown it out the window at one point. The town cheers, and she says that she'll show him around Chicago. The end. Did I leave anything out?
Well, she did wear a red peacoat at the end. I thought you were going to make mention of that.
True. Yes, true. I do love a red peacoat moment.
But yeah, that was a pretty accurate description of the ending of this thing. Okay, it is time for our big gold or coal segment. Here's what we do. Each of us gets to give 3 gifts, gold or coal. Overall, if there's more gold on this one, we're going to say it's full of color. If there's more coal, it's black and white. And if it's a tie, 3-3, we're just going to call it meh. Jennifer, you're up first.
My first gift has to be gold because Hallmark swung for the fences with this movie. They took some big, big chances. They told a bigger and more complex story that was very involved. They used big cinematography tricks. And I think all of that part paid off. I have to give them credit for that. This movie will not appeal to the masses because it is a little out there. I saw a lot of hate online for this movie. The vitriol was fierce. I do not hate this movie. I think I have to give them credit for trying something so different, so out of the box. Gold.
Yes, I'll agree. I'm going to give some gold. I thought the actors who played mom and dad were pretty sensational in this movie. Mm-hmm. And dad, by the way, is Jerry from Parks and Rec, which That's
where he's from.
I was so excited to see him. I think he's a great actor. He had a lot of funny things. He had some serious things. He had to be angry, so there was great range from him. Mom, I thought, was totally believable as a mom in one of these movies. She's done a couple other ones for Hallmark I was reading, and I thought that she was great. So gold for the parents here.
Yes. I have to give some coal. The ending lacked all logic and understanding for me. So we are led to believe this entire time people have these fond Christmas memories and it brings their color back to their world. But she was a little Scrooge-ish, so it maybe took her a little while longer, but we're led to believe in the end, all it was a kiss from a man she barely knows. And that brings her life back to color. She has no Christmas memories with him. It's not like it was a kid that she knew growing up in the town or who was always there at the holidays and they saw each other at a parade and that's what triggered it. And, oh, you were the guy from the parade. Like, that's what I wanted. That's what I was expecting, this moment of connection. But I never got it. I feel like her character was so surface level that it just was, she was only doing this to undo the oopsie that she did to the town. It wasn't because she loved Christmas. It wasn't this great transformation of I was a Scrooge and now my heart's grown 3 sizes. It was, I don't want to be the only weirdo that looks different in town. So let me try everything and let me kiss the mechanic and see if that works. They even made the joke and they did the bit. And so I thought, okay, in the end, what will make her turn back to color? It's got to be something grandiose. And it wasn't. It wasn't. And it had nothing to do with Christmas, the reason she came back.
I can hear it in your voice. Kind of a letdown.
I was mad about it. I just feel like they dropped the ornament, so to speak, on this one. Because I was with it. I was tracking. I was thinking positive thoughts. But then the end was just a big clunker. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Am I being too mean?
No, you're being honest. And similarly, look, this plot is very ambitious. What they tried to do here, not easy to do. But there are some holes in this plot that I just could not get past. Case in point, when they go to the teacher friend who had the pageant, earlier on, when everything turns to black and white, she's flipping through her journals and all of her memories about Christmas have vanished because, of course, Christmas isn't a thing. But yet she's able to show up to the school with Christmas costumes from the pageant to remind her about the Christmas pageant. We already know that all the decorations from Christmas have also disappeared because Christmas isn't. So this is just emblematic. There's some plot holes that kind of were a little tricky to get past for me.
So is that Cole, or is that just an added note?
No, that's Cole for me. Yeah.
That's your Cole. Yeah, and I agree, because she could always remember Christmas. She didn't like Christmas, but she never, and it wasn't a dream. In the end, it wasn't some dream sequence. We are led to believe the canon of this movie is that these were actual events that happened in this town. And then, oh great, Christmas is back. Come on over and open presents. It's just...
Yeah.
There was something amiss. Speaking of amiss, I have to give another piece of coal. There was no romantic chemistry between these leads. I like them in movies. I like them as characters. They did not have a romantic connection, to the point where I wish they hadn't even tried to do that. Like, I would have enjoyed it more if they were just friends, whether they knew each other at the parade back in the day, my magical parade, or whatever. They became friends during this trauma bonding that they're doing, going around town. And that was it. Let's not do the romance thing. This movie didn't need that, and it didn't really have it fully fleshed out. So let's just not even do that. They're just friends on this mystery trying to solve the problem, and they banter along the way and care about each other, but they don't have to kiss and pretend like they're going to date.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I didn't buy it.
My last one is going to be Cole as well. I think this movie suffered from having maybe 2 or 3 too many characters. I thought that there was just too many ancillary people. There was the brother with the fiance. There was the friend with the pageant. There was the doctor with the
lasagna.
It was all there was too much happening here. And I think that when you have too many characters with these subplots that you feel the need to tie up, then things can get sloppy along the way. And I think that's kind of what happened here. So Cole for me. So we're done. And it was 2 gold, 4 coal. So it's just black and white. I mean, I think, Jennifer, for me, this movie was very ambitious. Visually, it was great to watch.
They did a great job visually.
But when you're paying attention to the story and paying attention to the relationships and the characters, it kind of just doesn't come together for me in a way that gives me warm and fuzzies and makes me want to watch it again.
Yeah, there were 0 warm and fuzzy moments in this movie. It had Christmas decorations in it, but it was not heartwarming. It was off-putting. It made me feel uncomfortable, but I do really want to give it credit for them trying something new, because we're always like, ugh, it's so formulaic. It's just the same thing over and over and over. And they didn't do that. They've listened and they're trying something new. And I want to continue that. But let's just let's take it over the edge next time. We're so close. Let's just kind of finish the trail that we're on, instead of like, oh, what, it's only a 2-hour limit, so we just gotta wrap it up. Kiss in the gazebo, and every problem is fixed.
And to that point, I wonder, this concept might have been a lot better if this was a series that we got throughout the entire countdown to Christmas. Where we could see the relationships develop, where we could see the transformation happen, where there would have been more time for things to kind of develop. I would have loved this, I think, as a weekly 30-minute series. Like if it did like a When Calls the Heart or whatever around this kind of a plot and this kind of a thing. I thought that
was a lot better. That is a great idea. Yeah, I think they needed more time. I think that was really the crux of it. They needed more time to really flesh this out and do it to its fullest potential. But I do see you, Hallmark people. I really want to give you credit. It just wasn't quite there for me. So What are we going to do?
And that, friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Special thanks as always to Nick Schwartz for our theme song and to you for listening.
Hey, if you like our podcast, thank you so much for being part of our community. We would invite you to review, subscribe, and of course, tell a friend, especially as we're getting toward the holiday season. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. That's really where we're connecting with a lot of folks these days. So be sure to like our content there, give us a comment, send us a message, let us know what you're watching. You can find links to everything you need at our website, doyouwatchwhatiwatch.com. So next time, we are going to be chatting about Hallmark's new film, Under the Christmas Sky, and here is the synopsis from IMDb. Kat is an esteemed astrophysicist who is scheduled for her first trip into space next year until an accident grounds her. While on leave, coming to terms with the reality that her dream of being an astronaut is over, she volunteers at the local planetarium. There, she is paired up with a by-the-book David to work on an exhibit opening right before Christmas. You can bet we will have much to discuss. And until then,
may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.